Welcome back to AI Explained. Today we're diving into the world of AI and comparing two big names, ChatGPT and Google's Gemini.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how, ChatGPT kind of came out of nowhere and suddenly everyone was talking about AI.
It feels like just a couple years ago this wasn't even on most people's radars.
Right. And now Google's jumped into the ring with Gemini and it's really shaken things up.
For sure. So today we'll break down how easy these AI tools are to start using, what the experience is like and what they offer.
And of course, we got to touch on the privacy side of things, since that's always a concern with these kinds of platforms.
Exactly. So let's jump in. When it comes to getting started, both ChatGPT and Gemini seem pretty user-friendly.
Yeah, both of them have free and paid tiers, so you can try before committing to a subscription.
I think that's a good sign that they're trying to make AI accessible to a wider audience.
For sure.
ChatGPT has its own website and apps, which makes it pretty easy to access.
Right.
And then Gemini is woven right into the Google ecosystem, so you'll find it in stuff like Gmail and Google Docs.
Yeah, that's a pretty big difference in their approach. I mean, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, they're building a separate platform.
Right.
But Google's just kind of integrating Gemini into the tools that people are already using every day.
That's a good point. Actually, I tried out Gemini the other day. It was surprisingly easy to set up.
Oh, yeah.
Basically just agree to the privacy policy and boom, you're in.
Nice.
I did chuckle at that disclaimer that pops up, though.
Oh,
It's like even Google's admitting that AI can make mistakes, so double check the info.
I think that's really responsible of them. I mean, it's important to remember that even though AI is super advanced, it's not perfect.
Yeah, and as AI gets more integrated into our lives, it's more important than ever to double check that information.
For sure. It's all about encouraging people to think critically.
Totally. So both platforms are pretty easy to get started with, but what about the actual experience of using them? What are the key differences?
Well, like I mentioned before, that integration with Google's tools is a major selling point for Gemini.
Okay, yeah.
Imagine writing an email in Gmail and being able to generate high-quality content right there.
Oh, wow.
Or having Gemini summarize a long research paper you're reading in Google Docs. That could be a game changer.
For someone like me who lives in those apps, that would be huge for productivity.
Right. But ChatGPT has some cool tricks up its sleeve, too.
Yeah, like what?
One of the big ones is its integration with Apple Intelligence through Siri. So if you're on an Apple device, you can actually talk to ChatGPT using voice commands through Siri.
Whoa, that's convenient.
Yeah, it's like having an AI assistant right there.
Right.
But even more impressive is their API.
Oh, right.
Developers can use it to build ChatGPT's capabilities right into their own apps. So you could have things like AI writing assistants or customer service chatbots that can answer your questions anytime.
So ChatGPT is actually empowering a whole ecosystem of AI-powered applications.
Exactly. It just shows how fast this field is moving. And both platforms offer voice modes now, too, so you can actually have a conversation with the AI.
Wait, hold on. You mean we can talk to them now? Like back and forth?
Yep, it's becoming more and more like talking to another person.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
How good is the voice recognition? Can it understand different accents and stuff?
They're both being improved all the time, and yeah, they can generally understand a range of accents. Slang can still trip them up sometimes, though.
I bet.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder where things will be in a few years.
Yeah.
The possibilities are pretty exciting. But, okay, back to the features. What else is there?
Well, ChatGPT's voice mode has a really neat trick. On your phone, it can use your camera to see, and you can ask it about what it's looking at.
So it's like having an AI tour guide.
Yeah, exactly. It's still early days, but imagine pointing your phone at a landmark and getting all the history and significance right there.
That'd be amazing. Does Gemini have anything like that yet?
Not yet, but both platforms are really good at image generation. ChatGPT uses DALL-E 3, and Gemini uses Imagen 3, both of which can create some really impressive visuals.
So they're pretty evenly matched when it comes to images. But are there other features that set them apart? Does one platform have more bells and whistles than the other?
In terms of pure numbers, I'd say ChatGPT has the slight edge right now.
Like what kind of features?
Well, for example, they have something called Canvas, which is a second window that opens next to the main chat.
Huh.
It's great for multitasking and keeping track of different conversations.
Well, that's handy. So I could be working on something in one window, or
Yeah.
chatting with the AI in another.
Exactly. It helps you stay organized.
Yeah.
They also have projects to help you organize your work and a conversational search engine.
A conversational search engine. What's that?
It's like a more natural way to search the web. Instead of typing in keywords, you can ask a question in plain English, like you're talking to someone.
Interesting. So I could ask it, what are the best restaurants in Paris? And it would understand.
Exactly.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So ChatGPT has a lot going on. What about Gemini? What's their approach?
They're focusing more on that core functionality and integrating with Google's existing tools rather than adding a ton of extra features.
So it's about seamlessly blending AI into what we're already using.
Yeah, which definitely has its appeal. Now, we can't forget about privacy. That's a big one.
Oh, for sure. Anytime we're talking about technology that collects data, especially AI, we have to think about privacy.
Absolutely. We'll delve into that in the next part of our deep dive.
That's good.
Right, so before we jumped into privacy, we were talking about how both ChatGPT and Gemini are really powerful tools.
Yeah.
But they do collect information about us, just like any online service.
Right, and that's something we got to be aware of. What exactly are they collecting and how are they using it?
Well, with ChatGPT, all those prompts and questions you type in, those get stored. And even if you delete them, they might still use that data to train and improve the AI model.
Okay. So they're using our questions to make the AI smarter.
Yeah, basically. But they do say that you own anything you create with it, like the outputs you get from your prompts.
Okay, so they're acknowledging that we own what we create.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
What about Gemini? What does Google do with our data?
Gemini keeps your conversations for 18 months stored in your Google account.
Okay.
You can change that, though, to 3 months or 36 months. They say it's to improve their services, which could mean anything from making the AI better to, those targeted ads that Google loves.
Oh, yeah, those ads. Can't seem to escape them. But at least they're being upfront about what they're collecting. That's a good start.
Definitely. It's a good reminder that as we use more and more AI, we got to be careful about what we share and how it might be used.
Absolutely. But let's switch gears a bit. We've talked about getting started, user experience, and privacy.
Right.
Now let's get to the important part. How do their responses actually compare?
Yeah, the ultimate test. Which AI gives the best info, the most helpful and insightful stuff? So we decided to give them a challenge. We asked ChatGPT and Gemini the exact same question.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What was the question?
We asked them to summarize a recent news article about the latest self-driving car tech.
Okay,
It was pretty technical, lots of jargon, so we wanted to see how each AI would handle it.
cool. A real-world test. So how did they do? Let's start with Gemini. What was its summary like?
Very concise and factual. It pulled out the key breakthroughs from the article, like new sensors and better algorithms for navigating tricky environments.
Okay, so straight to the point, just the facts. What about ChatGPT? Did it do something different?
ChatGPT's summary was more conversational, I'd say. It still hit the main points, but it also gave some context and explained why those advancements matter, even if you're not a tech expert.
Interesting. So Gemini was like a bullet point list,
Yeah.
and ChatGPT was more like explaining the story behind the news.
Exactly. I think it shows their different strengths.
Yeah.
Gemini is great for delivering clear, concise info, while ChatGPT is better at giving context and making complex things easy to understand.
Like having different tools for different jobs. So after this real-world test, what's the verdict? Which one comes out on top?
That's tough. They're both impressive in their own ways. I think it comes down to what you personally prefer and what you need the AI for.
Yeah, I agree. There's no clear winner here. It's more about finding the right fit.
Right. If you value that smooth integration with Google stuff and you like things clear and concise, Gemini might be the better pick.
Especially if you're already using Google for everything, right? Having it all connected would be so convenient.
Totally. But if you want more features, a little more personality, and something that can handle those more complex questions, ChatGPT might be the way to go.
And we can't forget that ChatGPT is easier to use for Apple people with that Siri integration.
Right. Good point. It really comes down to weighing those pros and cons and seeing what fits your needs best.
I like that. It's not about one being better. It's about picking the right tool for the job.
Exactly. And I think that's a great takeaway from this whole deep dive. These amazing AI tools are becoming more and more available to everyone. And the best choice really depends on how you want to use them.
I love that. It's empowering to have those choices.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's be practical. How much do these things cost?
Well, the good news is that both ChatGPT and Gemini have free versions.
That's great, especially if you're just curious and want to try it out. But what if you're ready to commit? What do the paid plans offer, and how much do they cost?
ChatGPT has a premium tier called ChatGPT Plus. It's $20 a month.
Okay.
You get faster responses, early access to new features, and it's always available even when demand is high.
So like the VIP treatment.
Exactly. And then there's ChatGPT Pro. That's their top tier, more for businesses and professionals. It's $200 a month.
Whoa, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
What do you get for that extra cost?
With Pro, you get everything from Plus, but also dedicated computing power, so it's faster and more powerful.
Okay.
You also get more customization options and priority support.
So if you really rely on ChatGPT for work, those extras might be worth it. What about Gemini? What are their paid options?
They keep it simple. They have the free tier and then Gemini Advanced, which is their paid one.
Do we know how much advanced costs? I hadn't seen any specific pricing yet.
Yeah, Google hasn't said publicly yet. It'll probably depend on how much you use it and what features you need.
Okay, so still a bit of a mystery there.
Mm-hmm.
But the takeaway is that both platforms have free and paid options, and the paid ones give you more features and power.
Exactly. It depends how much you'll use it, what features matter to you, and of course, your budget.
Sounds like there's something for everyone, which is great.
Yeah.
So if you're ready to take your AI use to the next level, those paid plans are worth checking out.
Definitely. And who knows, maybe we'll see even more pricing options in the future where you can really customize your plan.
Yeah, that'd be great. The more choices, the better. Okay, I think we've covered a lot today. We went deep on ChatGPT and Gemini, from getting started and what it's like to use them, to privacy, the quality of their responses, and even the cost.
Yeah, it's been a really thorough discussion. Hopefully our listeners feel like they understand these powerful AI tools better now, and maybe they're even excited to try them out.
Absolutely. But before we wrap up, I want to go back to something we touched on earlier. That idea that both of these AIs can answer really complex, open-ended questions.
Yeah.
It makes me think about how this could transform education and lifelong learning.
That's a great point. We tend to think of AI as for businesses or creative types, but its potential in education is enormous.
Exactly. Imagine if every student has their own personalized AI tutor, one that adapts to their learning style and needs. So we've talked about all these cool things that ChatGPT and Gemini can do, but I kind of want to shift gears and think about how this could change education.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. We usually think about AI as a tool for businesses or, creative types,
Mm.
but its potential in education is huge.
Totally. Imagine if every student had a personal AI tutor, one that adapts to how they learn and what they need.
That's the dream, right? An AI tutor that can figure out what a student's good at and where they struggle, and then give them personalized help and feedback.
It'd be like having a teacher who just gets you and knows the best way to teach you.
Yeah,
That's something regular classrooms really struggle with, especially when there are a lot of students.
definitely. AI could give that one-on-one support that so many students need to do well, and it would also free up teachers to focus on other stuff,
Oh, right.
like helping kids develop critical thinking skills, creativity, those things that AI can't do.
That's really important. This isn't about replacing teachers with AI. It's about giving teachers better tools to help their students.
Exactly. AI can handle the more routine things like grading quizzes or explaining basic concepts, while teachers focus on creating engaging learning experiences.
And encouraging those human skills that AI can't replace.
Right, exactly.
I like that, finding that balance between tech and human interaction. But let's get down to earth for a minute. How would AI actually be used in classrooms? Like, can you give me some examples?
Sure, imagine a student who's struggling with, let's say, a math concept.
Okay.
An AI tutor could step in and walk them through it step by step at their own pace.
Mm-hmm.
Or if a student's studying for a history test, the AI could quiz them and figure out what areas they need to focus on.
That's so cool. It's like having a study buddy who's always available.
Right. And it's not just individual learning either. AI could also help create more engaging experiences for whole classrooms.
Yeah, how so?
Think about a virtual field trip powered by AI where students could explore ancient Rome or the Amazon rainforest in a really immersive way.
Whoa, that would be amazing.
Or AI-powered games that make learning fun and challenging.
It really takes learning beyond textbooks and lectures and brings it to life.
Exactly. But of course, with any new technology, there are always challenges. What are some hurdles we need to overcome to make AI-powered education happen?
That's a good question.
Well, one big one is making sure that AI is used ethically in education. We got to make sure that the algorithms aren't biased and that they're designed to help all students equally.
Right, we can't let technology make existing inequalities in education worse. AI should be a force for good, not something that just reinforces existing biases.
Exactly. Another challenge is the cost of developing and implementing AI in schools. It's not going to be cheap to create those high-quality tutors and learning platforms.
Yeah, and we have to make sure all schools and students can access these resources, not just the wealthy ones.
Absolutely. We don't want AI in education to create a digital divide.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's teacher training.
Oh,
Teachers will need to learn how to use AI effectively in their classrooms.
yeah, it's not enough to just throw technology at the problem.
No, it takes thoughtful planning and training for teachers.
Absolutely, that's key.
AI in education is complex. There's a lot to consider. But I'm optimistic that if we work through these challenges, we can create a much better education system.
One that's more personalized, engaging, and fair for everyone. That's something to be excited about. We could create a future where AI really empowers both students and teachers.
Totally agree. It's a future where learning is better for everyone.
This has been such a cool discussion about ChatGPT and Gemini, and thinking about how they could impact education has really opened my eyes.
Mine too. AI is going to change how we learn, that's for sure. And it's up to us to make sure it's a change for the better.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. We hope you enjoyed it and learned some new things along the way.
And if you're as excited about the future of AI as we are, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives on fascinating topics. We'll keep exploring the latest developments in AI and how they're changing our world.
Thanks for listening.